Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the sadly no longer live comic book, roundup. We won't be doing a live stream anymore as it's honestly too much of a pain in the ass. So, I'll still be doing a weekly rundown of the comics I pick up every week. So, we'll start off this week with Sleepwalker #1, which is a tie-in to Infinity Wars. Now, for those unaware of the character Sleepwalker, Sleepwalker was created in the early 90s. He is a alien being, simply referred to as a sleepwalker. He and his race are from the Mindscape. Anyways, Sleepwalker himself is bound to human Rick Sheridan, a film studies student in Brooklyn. He had a series in the early '90s, and he popped up for here and there afterwards. Anyway, so the issue starts off. Turns out that Rick is making a film about. It's about the C-list superheroes. But he opens talking about some of the bigger things we know of, such as Iron Man fighting Ultimo, Thor and the Hulk standing off, Spider-Man standing against the Juggernaut. Everyone knows those, but there are others, that people don't. And this is all being narrated by former member of the New Warriors, Silhouette. So, anyways, they shoot it. It's done real great, and Rick's like, okay, that's perfect. I gotta go cross town and meet with Hummingbird. I'm already late. And then there's an explosion, and Silhouette goes see what good she can do. Meanwhile, Rick goes into the alleyway and meditates calmness, where he could meet up with Sleepwalker. It's like, hey, something happened. Maybe you should check it out. So like, okay, so Sleepwalker, comes into our world. He goes and he looks and he sees Requiem, having snapped her fingers and already merging Cap and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Moon Knight. And she noted, well, he doesn't know who Requiem or even Gamora is. He does know what the Infinity Stones are. He's about to jump in and save the day, but he's recalled by his superiors. I tell you about Sleepwalker is he is a dream cop. They're saying things have changed. You're being reassigned, and but Sleepwalker wants to make sure that Rick's okay. They're just like, no, their judgment's tarnished from all the time you spent with him. So you're gonna go to the thought planes of Office Centauri, and they'll calm you down. They'll calm you down. But he's like, well, what if I say no? What if I'm like, fuck you guys? And they're like, well, we'll banish you to the wilds, and it'll be considered a nightmare and executed on sight. Have you ever tried to enter the waking world? Now it looks like he decided to be banished to the wilds. And an old friend of his and a rookie are escorting him. The rookie is kind of shaken by this, but his friend is like, this is the Sleepwalker. And starts to regale the rookie with tales of Sleepwalker. So anyways, Sleepwalker travels to the wilds, which that's just really awesome. It's some awesome imagery, And eventually he manages to make it through, and with the help of the Imaginator, which is basically his badge, he can access the dreams of those within the soul world, which is where the Earth is, which is where Gamora has taken Earth. And so he looks at a few other possibilities like Man Thing Thang Foom, a combination of Man Thing and Fin Fang Foom. Dark Starhawk, a combination of Darkhawk and Starhawk, who appears to be fighting a combination of Death's Head and I'm not sure. And finally, Scott Banner, who's currently imprisoned by Hydra, which stands for Highly Destructive Radical Armaments. Well, turns out Scott Banner, when he gets mad, becomes Little Monster. It's a combination of Hulk and Hank Pym, and well, no, not Hank Pym, but Hulk and Scott Lang. And so Sleepwalker recruits Scott in helping him save Rick. And that's where the issue ends. I think this is going to be really cool in fleshing out Soul World, so that should make it a really interesting read, I would say. Next up, also an Infinity Wars tie-in, as Guardians of the Galaxy #2. So, Nebula, being, well, Nebula, she has stolen the ancient horn that can call forth the Naglfar, an armada manned by soulless corpses of gods who've been reborn in new bodies. And she's going to bring about Ragnarok and take Gamora's title of Deadliest Woman in the Galaxy. Anyways, Angela, the sister of Thor and Loki, has put together a team to stop this. Valkyrie and the human she's bound to, Annabelle Riggs. The Destroyer, which is being manned by Kid Loki. Scourge the Executioner, who is somehow not dead. Thunderstrike, well, the son of Thunderstrike. And, finally, Throg. So anyways, so we start off on the planet Netradine. And Nebula explains that the Netredi have an interesting apocalypse myth. Their religious teachings tell them that it is the gods who offer sacrifice to their worshippers. So every 10,000 years, their gods slaughter one another in honor of those who love them. Blood rains down from the heavens, and the Netredi cast aside their garments and dance naked in the downpour. And aside from the blood rain, the Netredi only rarely see evidence of their pantheon's presence. With the great sacrifice, the gods prove their existence, and the renewed faith of their followers births them once more. Because of this endless cycle, death and rebirth, the Netredi have certain youthful interpretations of their gods, and they see them as children. Those children, the dead husks of those child gods have returned to the Netredi and are slaughtering them. Anyway, it turns out that the horn was commissioned by Loki because Loki, he didn't really think anyone would go after such a thing because who wants to bring about Ragnarok but, him. And he acknowledges that Kid Loki is actually more of a shadow of himself. The adult Loki, after all, being on a quest to uncover the true nature of reality or some such in Infinity Wars. Meanwhile, Annabelle and her girlfriend are talking. Thunderstrike interrupts and is a total dick for the time. I mean, not that he really realizes it, but yeah, he is. Thunderstrike is given some advice by Executioner. Basically, don't be that guy. Throg, it turns out, is navigating the ship, while Angela, and kind of basically following Angela's lead as she tracks down where they have to go. They get there, and of course they get to Netradine, places covered with littered with dead bodies. Annabelle turns into the Valkyrie to help the one not yet dead get to the other side. And then so the undead god kids go after our Asgardians, and one of them during the battle eats Throg, seemingly. Meanwhile, over in Shi'ar space, so in orbit of Chandalar, the Shi'ar throne world, Gladiator and Nebula having a chat. Of course, Gladiators are informing him that she is not welcome here, and he demands that she take her armada and leave Chandalar's orbit at once. And this is the only warning she's going to get. And if she doesn't depart, she will face the wrath of the Imperial Guard. And Nebula explains that the Shi'ar Empire is more of a test for her armada. So Gladiator grabs her by the throat and then promptly counterattacked by a zombie Thor, because Thor has died through multiple Ragnaroks. It looks like next issue we're going to have Angela fighting. We may end up with Angela fighting zombie Thor. So that should be interesting, to say the least. Next up, we've got Cosmic Ghost Rider number 4. Bear with me, I'm kind of feeling my way back through how to do this. Anyway, so where we left off, Cosmic Ghost Rider had been fighting a massive influx of time travelers led by Cable to attack him. And he kept on beating them. And then another entry, no, someone else showed up. Thanos, dressed as the Punisher. Basically says, come on, we need to go. And so baby Thanos walks up to Punisher Thanos and asks, are you a cosmic serial killer? He says, no, not anymore. So baby Thanos, whatever it is, thumps the skull shirt and says, I'm the Punisher. And so they go to the future, and they go back to the future that this has caused, with Ghost Rider figuring it's going to be a godforsaken hell that he's created, and it turns out it's rather pristine. Thanos has made a rather pristine world with the help of his father. Shows Frank the tombstone for when he died. Frank doesn't want to know how he goes, but turns out though, not everyone wanted this crime-free world that Thanos gave them, and so he separated them into that. That's where Cable and his people came from, in the last issue. Including, there are even camps in there. And it says, Cosmic Ghost explains that this isn't, it's insane, and and Thanos says, hey, that's what you wanted though. These people can't be allowed to hurt anyone. They're animals. And, so Frank interrupts, you're making them suffer, you're torturing them. And Thanos is, this is what he's saying, he's punishing them. And once again, poor future Frank Castle caught between, or surrounded by two Thanoses. Again. They of course disagree quite a bit, with Frank saying they kind of do deserve the chance to be forgiven. And then Thanos explains, explains that's what he's protecting. In this timeline, Thanos stopped the castles, prevented the murder of Frank Castle's family, and so Frank and Maria are still alive and happy. They duke it out some, and Thanos wins and tells Frank that he still has a place. There's still a place for him in this reality as Thanos' herald. Yeah. One issue. Let's see where all this goes. Should be for an interesting ride. Next on the list, we got X-Men Black Magneto, number 1 of 1. So, we kick off in Texas at the Gold Star Cafe. Magneto is eating and drawing. He's also working on rereading Tolkien. Little girl whose family owns the cafe talks to him some, and so they talk a bit, including about the experiences Magneto had at Auschwitz. And a news report comes on, and apparently, the Office of National Emergency is opening up an internment camp or a detention facility for minors who have to be mutants nearby. Some of the locals are all for it. Of course, Magneto and his new friends are not. They argue some, and she points out, however, before things can go further, that Magneto would. If anything, this guy knows what he's talking about. He was in a death camp. We have a flashback to about 24 hours previously, where Magneto was training against holographic representations of the X-Men, with his safety protocols turned off so that Wolverine could actually stab him. Nanny insists that treats his wounds, and insists, you really kind of should have those on. But his longtime ally, Briar Alley, comes to see him. And she agrees with Nanny that, maybe he gets killed training. Well, so anyway, he goes to the facility, and right off the bat, he's attacked by one of the ONE's Sentinels. Now, bear in mind, the Office of National Emergency, their Sentinel fleet their Sentinels are actually mechs. They're just designed to look like Sentinels. But yeah, they have a pilot inside the head controlling it. So, but to be fair, this one looks more like it's like a Sentinel, partially like a Sentinel trying to look like Magneto with the way the head is designed. And but he manages to defeat the guards, and even rescues all the kids within. Who, first he offers, someplace safe for them. But some of the kids say, we're Americans. That's where we can't, because they're Americans, they can't just run away. Maybe it's time for them to fight for the ideals of this country. Anyway, but he ends up ripping the facility out of the ground and leaving with it. I guess soon thereafter, he nails a picture to Kate of the two of them in spacesuits over the Earth. It's actually a really cute looking picture. Anyway, so these X-Men Black one-shots are each going to have one chapter of a 5-part story. X-Men Black Apocalypse. The Generation is the title of the story. So we start off with off the coast of South America, one of his various hidden away temples. Apocalypse is, he's trying to make the perfect host for him the perfect host body for him to transfer his essence into. There has not been much success, and in fact, on what we see him working on currently, something goes wrong and he ends up in another dimension. He fights a creature, and first he notices that he's bleeding. He finds the device he's been using. It's an attack by some odd creature. He fights off. he realizes that he is degenerating. He's becoming human. Anyways, next week's X-Men Black one-shot will focus on Mojo, followed by Mystique, then Juggernaut, then Emma Frost. Alrighty, moving on to Shatterstar #1. This is the first issue of the second Shatterstar miniseries. There was a X-Force Shatterstar miniseries. Oh, jeez. A while ago. A long while ago. So anyway, brief little Shatterstar talks about who he is, and we get some, we get the usual explanation of the character. Then it turns out that right now, having taken the name Ben Gavidra, he is a landlord. He opened a place. He runs a tenement called Manor Crossing, which is specifically brothers like himself, outcasts of alternate futures and parallel dimensions, hoping to make better timelines for themselves. And we get introduced to his various tenants. And we also see just how the character has changed in his nearly 30 years of existence. God. Yeah. But like I said, we meet the various tenants. Which include we have Carl Snortenthau, aka Pug Smasher, former anti-nationalist terrorist supervillain, cast out of Earth 8311 amidst a battle against Sandhorse. Resident of Guard Apartment #1 North. Then we've got Goldon and Crimsor, former Rajas of the Scorpus Citadel. They're trying to write a high fantasy web series pitch. We got a mutant commander from a dark future sent to the Covenant of X-Angels had sent her back to kill the half-demon mutant who would turn the world into a fiery hell in 1,000 years. However, sister conflagration of the Burning Nun was a shy 13-year-old girl, so yeah. So instead, the would-be assassin provided friendship, guidance, and an occasional safe place for Gabby Sotelo to go when her mother was drinking. Next, we've got Dwayne Taylor, Night Thrasher of Earth 90214. From an alternate past full of hard-boiled heroes who solved problems with fists and quick wits. He was brought here by his New York Warriors teammate, Miss Slip, so that he might benefit from the advances in the treatment of Parkinson's disease. He apparently did, however, wonder why Miss Slip had gone further into the future where a cure for the condition would exist, and that way Dwayne wouldn't have to flush pills down the toilet. Then there's Tina Cook from Earth 1218, a world that follows strict rules of physics and logic. It lacks superheroes, alien invasions, and interventionist gods. But they have a brief little chat. Basically, she's from something that resembles the real world. Later on that night, Shatterstar goes and sees a performance of Titus Andronicus. Apparently, once a week he goes and sees a play. Doesn't matter what the play. He will pick a play and just go see it. As we see, however, a group of mercenaries soon attack the Manor Crossing, seemingly taking everyone prisoner. We also get a quick update as to what's become of Shatterstar and Richter. They have since broken up, and it was not an amicable split, sadly. Richter, however, is now running a club. When Shatterstar returns home, he discovers what's happened. Tenants have all been kidnapped except for Dwayne Taylor, who managed to take down the mercenary who came after him. And so Shatterstar reviews the security footage. Mercenary unit known as the Death Sponsors came through from the Mojoverse. And they were accompanied by Gringrave, the Smiling Executioner. We get a quick flashback of the two of them having fought each other once back in the Mojoverse when Shatterstar was a gladiator. And, she's about to kill him until she realizes that everyone watching seems to love him. So she's going to teach him and capitalize on his natural talent. And she says that the best thing to do is give the audience what it wants by wanting it as well. And so Shatterstar gets at his most recent costume, though without the retractable sleeve blades. Buries Dwayne. Goes after the Death Sponsors. But it turns out he's been being followed by microscopic cameras, transmitting his every move to supposedly Mojoverse, which is now run by none other than the Grandmaster. This will certainly make for an interesting series. I do have to admit, if there's anyone that if there's any villain who would have made a fitting ally of sorts to Grandmaster, it definitely would be Mojo. Well, last time I saw Mojo is on Earth. Anyways, moving on to Deadpool number 5, and you just gotta love this cover. Out of curiosity, for those curious, this is actually Legacy number 305. So, it is the Halloween Mall Walkathon at the Fairwoods Mall, and Deadpool and Costas are each sponsoring separate walkers. They're watching the walkathon go on, and their walkers, well, the one that Deadpool's sponsoring, actually this is the reigning champion, but she slows down. She's not going so fast as he thought, and so Deadpool goes to give her some words of inspiration. And then she drops it from a heart attack. And then the other walkers, keep in mind this is all of those walking in the walkathon are elderly. All most of them also drop dead as well from heart attacks. And Wade realizes it has something to do with the pedometers they're all wearing, so he managed to remove the one from Mick and get Adelia, the walker that Costas was sponsoring, to take hers off. And then the villain Black Talon shows up. And him and Deadpool argue a bit. The Black Talon is I think calling him a C-lister is a bit of a compliment. This, however, is Black Talon. So yeah, he's got his voodoo thing going. And he's fought Deadpool before. Deadpool can't remember. Deadpool is this, maybe you're thinking of Spider-Man. And so Deadpool looks him up on Google, finds a picture, and proceeds to laugh at his old costume, which basically didn't have this chicken, was basically a giant chicken head. However, Black Talon, doing his voodoo thing, raises all those who just died, and they proceed to chase everyone through the mall. And but a few survivors there are have hidden themselves away in Costas' bar. Costas then proceeds to make his signature drink, which he calls the Disagreeing Father. For those curious, equal parts bourbon, rye, rum, tequila, vodka, mezcal, Cointreau, Grand Marnier, Campari, Aperol, fresh mint, and lime juice. According to Deadpool, it is an outstanding cocktail. But it turns out that Odelia is Black Talon's grandmother. She asked him to maybe use his voodoo thing to help give her a slight leg up in the competition. Didn't mean he wanted her. Now he's kind of just like, I didn't want to kill anybody, I just wanted to win for once. And so, of course, first things first, because Deadpool's got priorities. That means she cheated. Therefore, Deadpool wins the money. And of course, Mick Costas shouting at Deadpool brings the zombies who chow down on him. So Deadpool begins fighting them off, and well, gets bitten at one point. But he keeps the fight going, just long enough for all the other survivors to have gone upstairs to Rob's Big Gun Shop, which of course is all about selling big guns. And blast up the zombies. But that's the thing about mystical zombies, they can be brought back, they can be risen. When you got someone who can raise the dead, well, certain things aren't as easy. It's not as easy to take them out. And then they all run out of ammo. But Odelia runs up to Black Talon and smacks him upside the head. Telling him he better knock this shit off, or he's running out of here like a chicken with his head cut off. Deadpool and his pals, but of course, I'll laugh about the chicken joke. So he unrises the dead, and Mick, one of the surviving walkers, has been trying to say something all throughout the issue, but he will always get cut off by Deadpool. Turns out Mick's incredibly wealthy, and he's decided that yeah. And every year he gives part of his fortune to a hero. Well, this year he's going to give that portion to Wade. Well, he just needs, an account number to give his assistant tomorrow, and $23.5 million. But then he has a heart attack. But yeah, all the dead zombies have fallen in a way to spell out Happy Halloween. And, yeah. So that's Deadpool number 5, their Halloween issue, which, okay, alright. I honestly do, as much as the issue's fun and all, but I don't know. I mean, Scotty Young, he's not. I think I'm liking Scotty Young's art more than his writing. And my favorite thing about this issue so far, about this issue, is probably the Garbage Pail Kids cover. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I've gotten used to other writers' takes on Deadpool, which managed to find that balance between funny and serious superhero stuff. But whatever. I will probably. It's a character I enjoy reading enough that even when the story's kind of, I'll keep reading it for no other reason than acknowledging the fact that every title has its slumps, and having just constant one-off stories are also kind of Anyways, moving on to Weapon X number 24. So where we last saw the Weapon X team, they had gone to save Monet St. Croix from a rich folks cult that was led by William Stryker and his new associate Metallo. Well, it did not go so well. So anyways, we open up in Darien, Connecticut, the back room of Old Moe's Liquor Shack. Hairbags, Pyro, and Sauron, and somehow it's the original Pyro who died of the legacy virus back in the 90s, are sitting around playing cards, drinking, and talking. Hairbag says apparently Stryker's back and he's kidnapping mutants. And you got Lenny, or presume one of the other nasty boys, last week. Hairbag kind of suggests maybe we should go after Stryker and actually kill him. Charles like, man, I just want to try to play cards here. And then Stryker attacks with much better cybernetics than Sauron expected. And so kidnaps the trio, and you see back in Aspen, Weapon X Force waking up from in their cell. And we discover that Stryker, who was once a man of God, has switched sides in that fight. So, with his clear lack of divine support for his mission, he just switched gods. Turns it. So, the trapdoor opens in the ceiling and a whole bunch of weapons are dropped down along with Deadpool. Everybody grabs stuff, grabs some weapons. Apparently they're going to be doing some gladiator games. Sabretooth continues to try to apologize to Monet. It's actually kind of interesting seeing Sabretooth written as more than just, version of Wolverine who gave in to the monster, to the animal side. And Deadpool, of course, explained. Well, Omega Red says that since M isn't mind controlled, she'll die free. And then Deadpool, of course, trying to say, "Come on, nobody's gonna die," because you've got Domino with her luck power, incredible healing factors, and besides, we're all in other books, right? He looks at M, he's like, "Well, except you." Then Omega Red and Deathstrike, like, or you two. Corridor is like, "What the hell is he saying? What the hell is he talking about?" So as they go out there, Deadpool hands up for the audience because he's Deadpool. And so Mentallo gets the crowd going. And then all those mutants that Stryker's been kidnapping come out, ready to attack. They're all mind controlled. And so Lady Deathstrike manages to inject all of them with their nanobots, and however, it's not doing too well, and so Stryker comes in and shows the pit that he's trying to get the other mutants to force Weapon X into. It's got spinny blades and stabby blades, and so Sabretooth has Deathstrike throw her stash of nuke pills up in the air, and Domino blasts it, and it's all reds. Now, a quick backup as to nuke pills. So, nuke, the kind of, to a degree, kind of the anti-Captain America, the antithesis of Captain America. When he was introduced, he was powered by three things: red pills, which increases aggression; blue pills, which calm him down; and I can't remember exactly what the white pills did, but yeah. So the reds increased aggression. Yeah, Mentallo is not really that able to keep control of everyone when he's being attacked by a bunch of pissed off people. So the mutants were kidnapped. They team up with Weapon X Force, and managed to make their way out. But Sabretooth decided there's one more thing he wants to do. He wants to go back and kill Stryker. And so he leads Weapon X Force and the and Deadpool and the other mutants back to do just that. So yeah, that should be. I wonder how they're going to make it clear that what the deal is with that other Pyro. Seeing as how Pyro that's around is, if anything, at least probationary X-Men, if not an X-Man and completely, and kind of sort of Iceman's not boyfriend. Not a bad issue though. Greg Pak does write a really good Sabretooth. Totally, he writes the whole team well, actually. But anyway, that's it for this week's comic book roundup. I'll be back next week with the same thing. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon are in the description box down below. That's gonna be it for now. Hopefully, we'll be getting the Halloween 6 review up sooner rather than later. That's all I've got for now. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.